absolutely, Michelle. In fact, one of the biggest contributions that Ray McCauley has been praised for is his integration and his visionary leadership, one might say, of when he founded the Rhema Bible Church, bringing together South Africans from all walks of life. You would remember he started this church at around 1979, actually, the first one being where he used to meet with attendees, about 13 of them at his father and his mother's home, at his parents' home, and of course it growing to what we now know as the Rhema Bible Church here in Randburg. This is where we are, in fact, and I'm standing, Michelle, in a grassy area which will eventually be known as the memorial site for Ray McCauley. This is where the church is expecting some of the churchgoers and the congregation to start coming to, of course, lay some of those flowers, wreaths as well, and any tributes that have been pouring in. We know that the church leaders have been in meetings for quite some time throughout the day, trying to, of course, find out what is the best way to honor the legacy of Pastor Ray McCauley, a man whose legacy seems, stretched far beyond the borders of South Africa. His work in terms of his faith, as well as his missionary work. We're going to be hearing as well some of those tributes pouring in regards to how far did Ray McCauley's work go in terms of him being a spiritual leader and mentor. But I think, Michelle, just really from those that we've been speaking to on the ground, some of the things that they've been sharing with us was also the way in which he really was a father to many. Some of the staff members in the church have even spoken about how they were perhaps maybe volunteers putting up posters, and he took them on not just on a spiritual sense, but also uplifting them out of poverty and also teaching them how to be community leaders in their own respect. But I'm going to speak now a little bit to Pastor Wayne, who we did speak to much earlier, just to get a sense perhaps of how the events are looking in honoring the legacy of Ray McCauley. Pastor Wayne, thank you again for your time. It's been a busy day, I can imagine, as well. But so far, what we do know about how the church plans to honor the legacy of the late Ray McCauley.
Yeah, so far we have worked very well. We are overwhelmed actually by the number of people who are flocking in, sending emails, calling us, and we have some bishops, pastors, coming in just to pay their tributes. And as a team, we go together. We've managed to finally come to agreement of how we need to celebrate, the life of a giant. We're going to kick off with tomorrow at 7 p.m. We're going to have a virgin night, a memorial tomorrow evening, and that is open to everyone. But also we have opened up now our gates for people who need to come in at Rhema, to drop maybe a condolence card or wreaths or flowers. They'll be able to do that, for 24 hours. They're able to come in, drop what they need to drop, pay their tribute, and then go. Then tomorrow evening, we'll share more information. But the funeral is not going to take place this week. It's going to be sometime next week. We'll be able to release the information. We are done with a press release, which we're going to read to you like in the next 30 seconds. I can see it's coming down already. But the family is so appreciative of the support that they are receiving. We as a church have no doubt that Pastor Ray was loved. Pastor Ray was a giant, and that Pastor Ray will be missed. But he's left a legacy that is going to outlive him, and that was his desire. That's so we are there.
Yeah, and I think as we talk about his legacy, before Ray McCauley became Ray McCauley, he was, of course, a young man starting his church, doing that missionary work, and soon, of course, became very prominent in the public eye. His charismatic way of preaching became very well known to South Africans. I think there were times where there was controversy around the figure that was Pastor Ray McCauley. This was obviously once he was in the public eye and in the image. I mean, how do you think he handled that, and what does that say as we continue to speak about his legacy?
I think Pastor Ray has always walked with integrity and honesty. As a human being, I'm sure he had some weaknesses, but he's always come out strong of everything that he had gone through. But he's always been a man that was transparent about his challenges and struggles, just like another human being. And we've learned that he's a human being, but I think he has always stood in places where he was so forthcoming with whatever that he was going through, and we're able to talk about it. And he overcame those things, and he's remembered mostly, for being someone that stood in places of death and spoke life. He always spoke life, life, life to the very end. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Wayne. We'll look forward to that press release as well, and just some more details of how the Rhema Bible Church, as a ministry, as a whole, will be paying their tribute and their honor to the legacy, a giant, as Pastor Wayne there said. But, Michelle, if I can just step out, not much to see yet, but very few people have come out, and they've placed some flowers on the images there of the late Ray McCauley, as you heard there from the church itself, saying that they will be leaving the church open for the next 24 hours for those who wish to just come here and pay their last respects, to perhaps maybe speak of the stories that they share with this remarkable Christian leader who has been really described as a visionary in terms of when it comes to the Christian faith and mobilizing the faith and people to come together. And we're also hearing there the first event that is officially going to take place. That is a memorial service expected to take place at 7 p.m. tomorrow night. You can imagine, of course, the turnout that is expected, as it is a public memorial open to all. We know that this church, as it stands, has a congregation of over 45,000. And so you can only imagine, Michelle, that it will be a heartfelt tribute and definitely what could be a true celebration of life and a legacy. Michelle.
Veronica Makhoali. Beautiful crossing. Thanks very much indeed for that description of Ray McCauley's legacy, and of course the memorial service, which is set to take place tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock.